Hey guys, welcome back to Low Spec Labs. I know my last video was an IT video. This is a little different. This is what I've been working on for the past month, right? It's a project I've been wanting to work on actually for a couple years now, ever since I bought this bike, right? And that's do-it-yourself fz07 turbo kit. And I'm not just bullshitting you guys. I was looking and doing some research on this, right? And there is a pre-built turbo kit for the fz07. That's the Extreme Creations turbo kit. But last time I looked, that was anywhere between like $3 and $5 grand, depending on what time you ordered it. The last time I looked was before COVID. It was about $3 grand. I was looking on some forums while I was doing some research for this bike, for the turbo build, and it seems it's gone up to like $4 or $5 grand. So, yeah. This turbo build, though, is about $800, right? I'm going to post my parts list so far. There's still some bugs, and I will be posting videos as I iron those bugs out. But I do want to show that, one, I've got the turbo installed, and two, I've actually got the bike running, right? So first things first, to start this up, let's hope this shit actually works. It's a neutral. Could you bring it a little closer?
Yeah. Do you want me to pause it? And then...
Yeah, pause. So first things first, I do want to show you that my oil feed line's fucked up. It's pissing oil everywhere. I've ordered a new oil return flange, right? And I've also ordered a scavenging pump. And I'm going to see if that'll help solve this leak issue here. The new flange should be a little bit bigger. This scavenging pump should help move the old oil from the turbo. But otherwise, this is running. I do want to show you what all I had to do to get it installed. So, can you come on this side there? Alright. So down here, I took the stock exhaust and I cut it up. I did go to AutoZone and I bought like a 2-inch to 1.5-inch adapter, and I cut that up a little bit, right? As you can see, my welds aren't exactly pretty, but I don't have any leaks. I had to go over them a couple times to make sure I didn't have any leaks. All right, this is all the stock exhaust going all the way back here, all the way down to the actual turbo, so you can see that it's mounted. All right, you can see the turbo oil feed. And again, I want to show you it running. So far I'm about 800 in. I still got to get the oil return sorted out. Right. So how did I build this, or how did I get this together? The first thing I did was buy a welder and an angle grinder. So if you don't have those two, add like another $250 to $300 to this project. Right. If you do have those two though, expect to spend maybe like about $1,000 in parts. Right. I'm going to have a parts list at the bottom of my video, but can you get closer, babe? Yeah. Okay. So first things first, here's the air intake. I kept the stock air intake box, right? What I did was create like this intake flange here, drilled a hole for the actual air intake on the other side of the intake box. Then I used these two bolts, pushed those through, drilled holes for those, and then pushed this little flange through here and used 3 nuts to hold it down. I also got rid of the stock air intake. I covered that up with another piece of plate metal, right? And then I used cardboard to kind of make some shitty gaskets just to make sure it's sealed up, right? Next thing I did was I bought just a cheap fuel pressure regulator. This is like a $50 Amazon or eBay special, right? To connect the fuel holes, you'll need 6 AN fittings, so make sure you buy those too. You'll also need fuel hose line. I bought this braided cable for like $30. It came with the fittings. I did have to buy these connector fittings too, this middle piece here, but there will be a parts list. This is a radiator hose, right? It's meant to be used with 1.5 inch. It's a 1.5 inch like metal radiator hose, right? It comes in from here. It mounts to this little inlet flange I made for the stock air box. It goes down here, comes through on the other side over here. You can see it coming down here, and it goes to the turbo intake. So that's a pretty simple solution there to get the actual force-induced air. Oh, it's leaking so much oil, bro. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to keep posting more update videos as I go through this. I still got to put the plastics back on. Still got to get the fuel tank properly mounted. Oh, actually, another thing that you're going to have to do is drill and weld a fuel return line bung. This is another 6AN fitting, right? I ground down the fuel tank over here, drilled through this, and then welded this little bung right here onto it to return the gas back to the tank from the fuel pressure regulator. So you're going to have to do that, right? Once you've got the fuel return bung done, then you'll have to actually, I would suggest taking the tank off, right? Just completely disconnecting this hose down here and removing the whole tank, right? Because then you don't want to have this fuel pump. This is your fuel pump right here. You don't want to have this fuel pump actually sitting in there when you're doing the drilling and welding, right? I do want to give you a word of warning. If you take this fuel pump off, get some gray gas resistant liquid gasket maker, because what I notice is when you take this fuel pump off, or you take this plate for the fuel pump off, it warps, right? And when it warps just a little bit, it won't seal properly anymore. So in order to make sure it seals again, you have to go and actually get some gasket maker and, reseal it, right? Other than that, I want to show you the inlet. This is just your standard, turbo braided oil feed line. You can buy that off Amazon special, right? You're probably thinking, where did I get the tap for the oil feed? The fz07 comes with a oil pressure sensor right here, or oil temp sensor. I'm not sure which one that is right here. I think it's an oil temp sensor. But this checks your oil temperature. It uses standard oil fitting sizes, so you can just buy one of these turbo oil tap kits off of Amazon or eBay. It'll screw right in, right? I'll have a list for the ones I use, so you don't even have to worry about it. Use this T-tap, seal off the other side, and then you put the oil pressure sensor right here. Right, and I had to make sure I had some clearance for that when I was welding it up. Other than that, it's pretty simple, man. You just have to be willing to take the time and take the effort to do it. I still have a lot more to do. As I get the bugs ironed out, I'll keep posting videos, right? My hope is someone else can watch these videos, do the exact same thing, and I'll start seeing a bunch of fucking turbo FZs on the street, right? Or maybe this will become so commonplace that it'll be a pre-built kit ready to go that solves all this shit for you. That's not fucking $3,000. But for right now, it starts. I still got to make sure I get that oil leak issue resolved, and then I'll be sure it's running. Oh, and of course the battery died. So next time I'll have a charged battery, and we'll take it from there. All right, that's it, man.